Can you guys tell us your names?
Mine. This is my sister Belle, and my name is Stanley, and I'm gonna draw.
My name's Belle.
My name's Stanley, and we are gonna draw some feelings. I'm gonna draw some lines.
What are you gonna draw, Belle?
Sunset.
A sunset. Can you guys tell me, has there ever been a time where you felt like you had a frustrated feeling and you didn't know how to share it with someone?
No.
No? You've never had a feeling so maybe a friend who did something that made you mad, but you weren't sure what to tell them, and so you kept it inside. Have you ever had that before? No, what do you mean no? Well, Mommy's had that feeling before. Why don't you guys go ahead and start your paintings?
Those guys had them too.
They had some feelings too?
Yes, the Megazords.
Yeah, and you can get your brushes wet too. That might help. What are some ways that we can talk about our feelings, about when we're upset with people, but not get mad at them? That's okay, just be a little more gentle. Let's say that you're upset with Mama. How would you tell me that you're upset? Would you scream at me?
No.
No? Stanley, can you give me an example?
You can take a deep breath or take a drink of water.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And count to 5.
That's a great, because that helps you calm down. What other things can you do when someone's upset you and you need to tell them those upset feelings?
Do a bug in a wish.
Oh, tell us about Bug and a Wish.
I can tell you about it. It's something that you can tell someone if someone made you upset. You can just tell them a bug and a wish.
So let's work it out. Mommy is upset because Stanley stole her cookie. Rude.
Whose cookie?
My cookie. He stole my cookie and he didn't ask first. So how do I tell him using Bug and a Wish that I'm upset? Stanley?
It bugs you when you took my cookie. I wish you would stop.
That's right.
But you need to do it in a nice way.
Yep. And how can you do it in a nice way, Belle?
It bugs me when you took me cookie. I wish you would stop.
Yeah, those words, they're super simple, and that helps us when we need to talk to someone about something that's hard. All right, tell me about your drawings.
My drawing is all. I'm not done with it, but at the end of the video, I will tell you all about it.
Awesome. What are you doing, Belly?
I'm making something that will make me happy, and it's gonna be a sunset.
That's awesome.
Now you just need to do the tiny details with the tiny.
Sounds like a good idea. Do you guys want to tell us more about yourselves?
Yeah.
All right, tell me about yourself, Sandy.
I like myself. But I like Pokemon. I like Pokemon journeys, and I like Pokemon and Geogon, and I like Mario. I like Super Mario 2, and and my favorite color is blue, and I also like Megazords, and that's it. What I'm gonna tell all about myself.
Can you tell me your favorite thing about you?
Okay, my favorite.
Something about yourself that's your favorite.
My favorite about myself, because I have a slow poke heart.
Aw, slowpoke heart.
No,
Now, Belly, will you tell us about yourself, honey?
It's so I like pink and purple, and I like school, and I like that I have lots of friends.
Tell me a little bit about your friends.
Sometimes what they do is like playing with me, and they sometimes they let me pick the game.
That's cool. What's your favorite kind of game?
Playing family.
Ooh, good choice. Welcome to episode 4 of Paint Your Feelings. I have another special guest today, my sister-in-law Laura. So we're going to paint some misty trees and talk about some feelings. Let's get started. So, Laura, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Like Nellie said, I am Joe's little sister. I live in Reno, Nevada. We moved out to Reno when I was about 16, I believe. Joe was in college at the time. Yeah.
What's some of your favorite things?
Ooh, my favorite things.
Yeah.
I love football. I like sports. I like golf. I like hanging out with friends. I love camping. I do a little bit of photography. My favorite things.
Nice. So I'm starting off with just kind of a dark murky color. This might be a good one to start with, but whatever. If you want to go blues, you want to go greens, that's fine.
Is that my little pattern?
Oh, you know what? You don't have a thing, do you? I'll get you a thing.
Okay.
There you go. She needs a mixing spot. There we go. If you want to use these colors, you can, or you can use these and you can pull it straight from the palette.
Cool. Now we're gas.
Now we're cooking. So you said that you like photography. What do you like about photography?
I think it's a process. It gives me something to do while I'm hiking, looking around for like what means, something to me. When I see something that I like, I can go, I can look at that, in the future and enjoy and remember where I've been and, yeah.
Nice. What kind of things are you most attracted to when you're looking for a particular picture to photograph?
For me, I really like doing something that looks out of the ordinary, that you wouldn't think that most people wouldn't see as they walk by.
Okay.
I like picking up things that are just different and making them more beautiful than what than most people just walking by them.
Oh, I like that. One of the things that we can start doing is as we start kind of tapping the trees, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with the tree, the tiniest point. And you might want to go a little bit smaller brush, just because we're doing some pretty tiny point work. Yep, and we're gonna start at the top and triangle dots down.
Okay.
Yep, and you can have some free. You actually might need a little bit more color.
Yeah.
If you can kind of even just go from right in here and go straight to your palette.
Oh yeah.
And then we're gonna use our bigger brushes to add some water going down, and that's how you kind of create that misty effect, which is fun.
Mm.
Yep. After you kind of get that shape in there. And I know for me, I am attracted to things that might not seem pretty. You know, like I'm kind of obsessed with cows or like broken concrete with a flower growing in it. You know, I feel like it's very like stereotypical, but in the same sense, I like finding beauty in brokenness. That's something that I feel like God has helped me grow in as I've dealt with hard times. And so I try to find, okay, if this is, maybe this is a struggle that's happening in nature or that's happening around me, how can I use this to create an art piece that I find interesting? But also, you know, butterflies and flowers and houses are pretty too.
Of course. Another thing I really like about photography is just, for me, it's quiet time. I feel like when I'm doing so many other things with my friends and, you know, with sports and all this stuff, it's always, you know, a very high energy environment.
Yeah.
And with photography, I can walk around and I can relax and I can just be in my own world.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a really good therapy for me.
Yeah.
Instead
makes a
of,
lot of sense.
you know, like I said, everything else I like to do is so high energy. Gives my brain time to sit and I can think about, you know, my life and, you know, my friends and people that I hold, you know, dear to me, and take pictures of things that I know that my family would like to see. And, you know, it's a great hobby.
I think that's awesome. Why do you think creative outlets help people?
I think because there's so much passion behind it. You know, that goes with everything that people do. You know, whether it's working on cars or you know, being into something that you enjoy is just therapy all in itself. Because you're focused on one thing. Life is kind of a bit of a rat race where there's a lot going on and you've got emails to get back to and phone calls to call people back and you know, laundry to do and all of this stuff. But when you're doing something that you love and something that you have passion with, you're just giving yourself to that. And that is it's so important for people to have something you know, that they love to do. It's awesome.
I love that. That was very well said. What advice would you give someone who's really struggling in their lives and in finding a way to express themselves in a healthy way?
I would say, first and foremost, being honest with yourself about your feelings. Knowing that it's okay to feel those things. And then just reaching out to people who you know love you the most and that have your best interest at heart, for sure.
What does that look like practically? Because I think sometimes we can think that people are standing behind us, but maybe they're not the people that we should be surrounding ourselves with?
I think deep down, I think you know who's in your court, who's on your side. There are other people out there that might not have our best interests, and I think throughout that friendship you can kind of feel that a little bit.
Sure.
And if someone says something that kind of makes you go, that doesn't feel right.
Sure.
I think you really have to go with your gut and your instinct and know that that's, unfortunately, maybe they don't.
Sure.
And it's okay to break up with friends. It's okay to break up with family members that are toxic.
Sure.
We're so blessed to have, my side of the family is
Amen.
amazing.
Amen.
So we're so blessed. But friends can be family too. You can have a chosen family, and you just got to find people who love you. Who would do anything for you, and those people are so important.
Yeah. Well said. So what do you do when someone that you don't want to cut out of your life, but who has hurt you, how do you talk to them? Or even just, maybe it's not even talking to them, because sometimes we shouldn't tell people things. And I don't mean to be dismissive, but there's circumstances that people aren't ready to hear about. And we can still deal with the hurt without expressing it to them. We can change ourselves without having to change that other person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think one thing that I've learned.
What do you think?
That I've learned recently is that it's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be disappointed, and when the time is right and you can talk to that person, if the time comes, then I think it is important to say, hey, this is kind of what's been going on, and this is how I saw this situation.
Sure.
And hopefully they're responsive towards it, and maybe it's not the right time for them.
Sure.
You never know what other people have going on, but for the time being, you just sit back and you go, they've done this to me, and I know that they're not in a place to hear me.
Yeah.
So I have to just wait, and how can I help them through their situation,
Yeah, I think that brings up a really good point. So when I was high school, early 20s, I struggled a lot with holding my feelings in and not expressing them because I felt like a burden. And I think that's a really normal thing. I think people are like, well, I don't want to bother anybody, or they go the other extreme and they're word vomiting everything all the time. So it's finding that middle ground.
Yeah.
And for me, it was not placing my value in what I do or how I am. It was seeing that my value is separate from the things that I do. Because for me, I was like, my value, I'm not valued because I'm not perfect, and therefore I can't burden anyone else with these things because I have to appear as perfect, or I have to appear as put together. And that's not helpful. It's not healthy.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, and our value doesn't come from anything that we do. That's not our value. That's an unhealthy way to view value.
Yeah.
I'm not successful, more or less successful, because I have a college degree. My identity can't thrive in those kinds of things because it's fickle. It's gonna go away, and it doesn't matter,
Yeah. One thing that I've learned is that your brain lies to you. I don't know why it wants to do that, but your brain does. It lies to you and says, that you're a burden, or that you're not good enough, or you're not being successful enough, or you didn't do enough today, or and that's just, you have to tell that saboteur. You have to say, be quiet. I'm doing just as best as I can.
Yeah,
that's absolutely all you can do.
Yep, I think that's a really good point of they are lies, and we don't have to listen to them. Well, and that's what's cool about this. I don't know if you're noticing, but like, I am not actually worrying that much about what the actual trees look like.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool. It's like you can just kind of relax and just get stuff on the canvas.
Yep.
And don't really worry about it.
Yep. So all you can do is just try something new.
Mm-hmm. I think if we, as people, set different expectations for ourselves and for others, I think things would be a lot different. Because I know a lot of people that set very high expectations for themselves and for others, and it's very black and white, and they get frustrated so often, and you know, it's disappointing. It's disappointing for them. It's disappointing for the people that feel like they're letting them down. And if you can learn anything as a human, learn how you operate so that you can be empathetic towards how other people operate. Because it is different than you. I promise you that.
Yeah, it will be different.
Can't make a lot of promises, but I can 100% promise there's very few people that function exactly how you do.
And there's reasons why they function that way and why they operate that way.
Yep.
You know, we were all raised differently.
Yes.
You know, and why we do things now is because of how, you know, how we grew up and how we saw the world as children. So, you know, everyone's going to have a different view on things happen and how they want things to go, and you just have to try to understand, you know, the reason they're doing something is just because of how, you know, how they saw the world.
Right.
You know, and how they continue to see it.
Yep, and that's not an excuse
No.
for poor behavior, but it can help you empathize when someone is being obnoxious or struggling or having triggers, and you're like, what in the world is going on here? And most likely they have a trigger that's being poked. The trigger is being triggered, and that's what's happening. But, well, thanks, Laura, for coming and hanging out with us today. I'm really glad that you were able to be here.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you're well, friend. But if you're not, that's okay. So you have a great week, and God bless.